Hello, my name is Ben, and I wanted to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about our company and what you'll be doing. Our website is taxforeclosures.us. We're based in Rochester, New York, which is home to companies like Kodak, Xerox, also the Finger Lakes, great schools, hospitals, and universities. We're just down the road from Buffalo, New York, which, as you may know if you follow the NFL, is home to the Buffalo Bills. Our company researches, organizes, and publishes municipal owned homes. And I'll get into that and explain exactly what that means in just a minute. But as a member of our team, you'll be helping families and investors find affordable homes to live in or renovate or rehabilitate, which improves local communities. But let me back up. A typical home sale in the United States involves a regular person selling to another regular person. This is how almost all transactions happen. So you have a regular buyer and seller of a home. This is how most home sales work in the USA. To do that, if you were to sell a home, you typically list it on something called the MLS. This is called the Multiple Listing Service. And it's been around for a long time, and it's how houses are advertised and marketed. So if you have a house, you typically hire a realtor or real estate agent, and that agent will publish your house on the multiple listing service. The MLS is published to many websites you've probably already heard of and used, including Zillow, Realtor.com, and Trulia.com. So this system is pretty much already established here in the US, and is typically how houses are marketed and advertised to buyers and sellers. But what about when a municipality, instead of a regular person, is selling a house? A municipality is a local government, like a city, a town, or a village. You might be saying, but wait a minute, what do you mean a municipality owning a house? Municipalities run governments, they don't own property. And that's true. So before I get into that, let me back up and we'll go through how municipal owned real estate sales work in the US. Municipalities collect property taxes. So if you own a home in the United States, regardless of where it is, you are almost always required to pay property taxes to the local municipality. This might be the county, the city, the village, or the town where the property is located in. In some places, you have to pay a tax to all of the municipalities. The county uses that money that they collect to build roads, pay workers such as fire and police, etc. But what happens when a homeowner fails to pay their property taxes? Here in New York, and it varies from one county to the next, every county or municipality has their own unique process for how they their process for when a homeowner doesn't pay property taxes. But here in New York, after 2 years of not paying your property taxes, you start getting notices in the mail. These are called pre-tax foreclosure notices. And they're basically letters from the government or the municipality letting you know that you're late on your payments, your property taxes, and you have to pay. If you still don't pay, the next step is they enter a judgment of foreclosure. This is a legal document that typically gets entered in the local courthouse. In some cases, you still have the chance to pay all the property taxes that you're behind on. If you still don't pay after that, the county will take title or ownership of your home. So if this happens, you no longer own your home. Instead, the county owns your home. So this is when the municipality owns houses. They typically do this once a year in every county. So, and again, every county is different, but once a year, the county will go through and take ownership of all of the delinquent properties that have not paid property taxes. But municipalities don't really want to hold your real estate. They don't really want to live in your house, but they do want the money if they sell it. So after this stage, from ownership, they sell it to the public. They usually do this through an auction, a public auction. This is where the public can show up and they bid, just like on eBay, to buy your home. Typically, a county, again here in New York, the average county will auction off about 100 houses every single year. Typically, the high bidder takes the property. So even if a house is really worth $100,000, if it had been sold on the MLS, people can get real deals at auction. That $100,000 house that would have sold for $100,000 on the MLS might sell for $50,000 at the auction. So people love auctions because they can find discounted houses. Now here's a problem. How would you find out about the houses that are for sale? How do you know which municipalities are selling houses and when their auction is? Typically, a municipality will only publish, in other words, market or advertise their auction in the local newspapers. So if you didn't happen to get the local newspaper that day, you'll have no idea when the auction is or which properties are going to be sold at the auction. So this is a real problem. Unlike the MLS, counties have their own unique process for advertising the properties that they're going to sell at the auction. There are over 3,000 counties in the United States. So let's imagine that you're shopping for one of these houses. And instead of just going to one website like Zillow or Realtor, imagine having to stop at 3,000 different counties and asking them which houses they have and when they're going to sell them. Obviously, that's a huge task. In other words, right now, there is no central website you can go and visit and see all the properties that are owned by all the municipalities. Until now. Our solution, taxforeclosures.us. Our mission, with your help, is to provide listings on all the municipal-owned real estate in the United States. So investors and property seekers can go to taxforeclosures.us and see every single municipal-owned house that is for sale or will be for sale on one website. But this, obviously, with 3,000 different counties, is a big job. But we've broken it down into 3 basic steps. You will fit into one of these steps somewhere, and we really appreciate your effort and hard work. Step 1 is to research. So this might involve contacting the county and finding out the date, time, and location of the upcoming auction, as well as the auction terms. For example, how much money would you have to put down as a down payment if you win the auction? How do they accept payments? Do you accept credit cards, cash, money orders? Again, every county has their own unique process for selling their houses. So this is where we come into play. We do the research for people so that they don't have to. Again, most importantly is the property details. How many square foot is the property? How many bedrooms and bathrooms? And perhaps most interesting are the photographs. We want to be able to show people updated and recent photos of a property so that it can help them do their due diligence and decide whether or not it's a good deal, whether or not they would want that house, to own that house. And having updated photographs is a big step in their due diligence process. Secondly, we organize all this information. Typically, we're going to organize it by county. Each state has multiple counties. So for example, New York State has 62 different counties. Pennsylvania has 69 counties. If you're a property seeker or an investor, you might want to only look at 3 or 4 properties that are most local to you. Thirdly, present. This is where we take all of the information we've researched and organized, and present it onto the website taxforeclosures.us. Your role is going to fit into one of these 3 steps. With all that effort put in, we have an end product. People, homeowners, home seekers, and investors will finally have one place that they can go to find their next property. Thank you.